Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 purchases that have improved my culture workshops with teams. At number 1 is the purchase I use so often that teams will always end up buying their own, and that is static stickies. So unlike regular post-it notes where they just have a very small amount of adhesive and you're trying desperately to stick them to different surfaces, these are static, which means you can literally place them on any surface. I am obsessed with them. You can stick them on walls, on glass, on absolutely anything, and there is no sticky residue left over because they're static. I even use these all around my house to help me with little gentle reminders now and again, because you can place them on mirrors, on my fridge, on absolutely anything, because they are just completely static. So these, for any facilitator who often uses sticky notes for different elements or activities, are an absolute game changer. At number 2 is my best self Icebreaker Deck. Now, I am a big fan of check-ins as a facilitator. I've spoken about check-ins a number of times on this channel, but when I'm facilitating a slightly larger group and we want to do a check-in, these questions are just so much more fun and dynamic and really allow larger groups of team members to come together and connect over some really fun questions. And the brilliant thing with the Icebreaker Deck is that it comes in lots of different categories so that you can choose the category that you want to have within that icebreaker session. I've seen many teams connect over thoughtful discussions from a question that was stimulated from these icebreaker cards. So I would highly recommend them, and there is so many of them, so you really never end up using the same one more than once. At number 3 is a very similar product to number 1, and that is static whiteboards. These are an absolute lifesaver when you're in a space that doesn't have a traditional whiteboard or that just has flip charts and you're not able to use the space fully. I really don't like when you have just one whiteboard at the front of the room. I like to be able to really move the team around as we're doing activities, and so these static whiteboards allow you to place mini whiteboards all over a room and again on any surface. So I've used these on glass, on walls, on all sorts of surfaces to really help engage in the session so that we have little mini whiteboards everywhere we go. And these static sticky whiteboards have really traveled some distances. The brilliant thing about the static whiteboards is that you get a whole roll of them. So even though you're using them, you can actually reuse them as long as you clean them down really well and store them and roll them back up. So actually, one box will last you a really long time. At number 4 is quite a random one, but also a really fun one that teams always love, and that is Playdoh. I use Playdoh often in my sessions, but in particular, I just give it to team members who maybe find it difficult to sit and focus at certain moments during the workshops. Even though I always do very interactive, activity-filled workshops, obviously with people with lots of neurodivergent needs, there can be moments where we need to focus or concentrate, and the Playdoh just helps as that kind of tangible thing that they can play with while focusing or thinking creatively and doing some deep work. So I highly recommend ordering a party-sized pack of Playdoh and adding it into your workshops. And at number 5 is a product that is a little bit unusual, but does add a serious element of fun into my workshops, and that is this little button. We've seen a lot of these buttons in like game shows where people have to press them to be able to answer the question. Well, I use these in 2 different ways. The first way is if we're having a discussion and suddenly it starts going off in a tangent or going off track, then what we can do is press this button to kind of signify to everybody in the room that we've started to go off down a rabbit hole. We need to bring it back in. And the second way I use this button is as a recognition or a celebration moment within the session. So if something really positive has happened, or if someone wants to recognize someone else, we can just have some fun pressing it when something great has happened. And again, this just kind of adds that element of physical appreciation and gratitude for when things are are going really well in the session. This one is my personal celebration button. So this has a song recorded on it, and every time something good happens when I'm sat here in my office, I will press it and kind of have a little party to myself. But this is also something that is fun, just brings that element of a smile to everyone's face and means that anyone can use this button during the session, not just me as a facilitator. So those are my 5 best purchases that have enhanced my culture workshops with teams. I would love to know if you have any tools or gadgets that you use within your sessions. Do drop them in the comments below because I'm always looking to discover more. But thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to do that, and I'll see you in the next video.